meeting. Those present is myself, Councillor Christensen, Board Member Brown-Merrin, and Mr. Coventry. We've got apologies from both Councillor Dow and Alan Buckman. Is there any declarations of interest in regard to any items on the agenda today?
Nope.
No, it's all routine reports anyway, so I would imagine not. Public forum, I don't think we have anything for public forum today. Confirmation of minutes from the October meeting. Has everybody received a copy of the minutes? Has anyone received a copy of the minutes? Pretty sure they did get sent.
Yeah, there were two sets of minutes in. It's the minutes and the confidential minutes.
Confidential minutes. So do we need to table and accept both sets of minutes individually, or I think we do, don't we?
I would guess so, but maybe there's somebody who's a bit more.
Yeah, Mr. Lewis.
Yeah, I'd imagine it separately would be more suitable. Yeah.
Can I have a mover and a seconder that the general meeting, October meeting minutes be accepted? Mr. Coventry?
Yeah.
Councillor Christensen? Any issues arising from those minutes? Do we have a mover and a seconder that the confidential minutes from the October meeting be accepted?
Yeah.
Ms. Brown-Merrin and Mr. Coventry. Welcome, Tanya. If you're there, not quite. Right, item 81, Chairperson's report. Not really too much to, well, a lot to report, but yeah, not much to report. The whole Three Waters and whatnot is certainly happening, whether people like it or not, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, don't know. Time will tell. We'll certainly find out in the eventually. As with the whole COVID thing, the general feeling that I'm getting from the large majority of people around the place is a bit of a sense of exasperation and frustration, really. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where if we're quite hitting the numbers that we need to hit or whatnot, but yeah, thankfully that our mayor is taking the lead on that and taking the charge on that. So yeah, well, if you're after information, his page or the DHB pages are certainly the places to go. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, everything else seems to be going flat knacker. Everybody's doing the best they can in the situations that they can. I noticed that this month is Movember. So if you see anybody rocking around with a real filthy, disgusting moustache, get out there, get behind them, get some support going on. I read a statistic today that in New Zealand, I believe that on average, one male per day takes their own life. So yeah, it is quite a significant issue. So if you see some boys rocking around the community with some real 1980s moustaches, yeah, give them a high five and get them behind them. Apart from that, yeah, not too much else from me. Moving a second, that be accepted. Councillor Christensen.
Yeah.
Ms. Brown-Merrin, thank you. All right, 82, routine district library report. I'll hand over to the library manager, Heather. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. There I was blathering away. Thank you very much. It's nice to be coming in and tabling another library report for the last quarter. So table it as read and just pick the eyes out of the report, if that's okay with you. So the big things, I suppose, for Ōtorohanga is we have now received quotations for mobile shelving. So that's replacing the current static freestanding shelving with shelving that's up on wheels, which is going to allow us a lot more flexibility with the layout in the library, and also around introducing programs in there. So at this stage, it's looking like January, February for the implementation of that, and that's predominantly due to the lockdown and level restrictions that we're working under. And the other one we've had is our RFID. Now that's radio frequency identification. So that's a wee project we've got on that is tagging all the books with the radio tags. And it's a project that allows us to work more efficiently with the book stock that we've got. So it takes out a lot of the manual handling from the team, and it just makes things more streamlined and much more efficient. So we've picked a vendor for that, which is Biblioteca. And again, it's possibly not going to be happening until the new year, just again, because the equipment we need is stuck up in Auckland at the moment. But that won't take, that'll probably take a month to 6 weeks once we actually get a date from the vendors. In preparation for that, we're doing a bit of inventory of the stock. So we've all but completed the car fare library. In fact, we would have been completed except that we shot back into lockdown. So that's I'm going to say 90% there. And then what we're doing with the Ōtorohanga stock is we'll actually, as we tag the stock, we'll inventory it just to save us the double handling. We ran a winter reading program that we took out to schools and ran collaboratively with Waitomo in our term 2 holiday. Now that was impacted again by lockdown because we locked down in the middle of the school holidays. So we had to make a few tweaks to it, which actually worked really well. We were able to extend the program. Kids were able to do their reporting in online through email and through our Facebook page, and that worked really, really well. So we've taken the learnings from that for the preparations and planning for our summer reading program. So putting together a program that, regardless of what happens as far as COVID goes, it'll just continue on without any tweaks. It'll just be a seamless program. One of the things we've done over lockdown that's been actually really cool is we've taken our story time sessions online, because even in level 2 we can't actually run story time because of the social distancing requirements in preschoolers. So Molly, or Miss Molly as the kids know her as, has been performing these on Facebook, and if you haven't had a chance to go and have a look, I really do recommend it. She's gone all out with costumes and all sorts, and they've actually been a delight to watch, and some of them have had amazing amounts of views. Like one of them's had over 1,000 views, so that's kind of blowing us away. Yeah, we've been working a lot of projects remotely like every other department within council, and it meant we've tweaked things around how we've done things, bringing forward some work that we could do from home, and putting other stuff on hold that requires us being in the library. One of the things we did get set up when we got back was a click and collect in level 2. And we'd no sooner got this up and going than we were all stuck back into lockdown again. So what we've done at the moment is we've brought in a level 3 click and courier. And the way we've done this is people can go online and place holds on books, and we've made that free. And we've got a staff member who goes in the library daily and pulls those books off the shelves, issues them to the customer, bags them up and couriers them out to people. So it's a completely contactless service, and it's been very popular. The way I've put it to others in the workplaces, it's gone off like a frog in a sock. And we've been really pleased with that we've been able to get some sort of library services out during this time to our customers. So you can see there we've got a number of things that we're forward planning on, and that's around the summer reading program, our STEM program. The library blog was delayed slightly, and so with the lockdown, so we've pushed out the launch for that to the 1st of December. And probably the only other thing of note is that you'll notice our statistics are a bit down on the same time the previous year, and that's a direct correlation with the lockdowns. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how we pick things up with the click and courier and our online use, and hopefully back to normal soon.
Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah, I was looking at your statistics, and I was quite surprised at how many people had been through the library in 2020, 21, but then I realised that it was from July 2020, which is after the lockdown, and now this period is fully in the middle of the lockdown. So certainly enjoying Miss Molly actually. My little toddler at home quite enjoys it. And I certainly understand the frustrations with stock getting stuck in Auckland. There's quite a few of us in much the same position. So we certainly have empathy for you. But from what I've seen and whatnot, that's really quite awesome what you guys are doing at the moment. Is there any questions or whatnot from any of the other members?
Just a quick question on those stats. I mean, Heather, big thumbs up for those stats, working as hard as you are with everything going on. You've got to be pleased with those stats. But there's one that just surprised me a little bit. So let me just enlarge this so I can read it properly. Wi-Fi sessions. There's been more Wi-Fi sessions this year than last year. Is that indicative of people sitting outside the library and using the Wi-Fi outside the library? Or, I mean, it's just a point of interest. That just surprised me a little bit.
It will be, because what we've done during the level 4 and level 3 lockdowns is not shut the Wi-Fi off completely, but we did shorten the period that it was available for. So rather than being available 24/7, but even I was surprised. But I suppose for a lot of people that don't have internet at home, if they've still got to access, government services and that, even in lockdowns, sometimes it's the only way they can do it.
Hanging around outside, interesting.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any behavioural issues with
no
the increased use. So really great.
Yeah.
Never actually thought about that one. But certainly a service that many people need. Any other questions or comments from any other members? Can we have a mover and a seconder that report be received? Councillor Christensen, Mr. Coventry, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Heather. Of all the reports to enjoy, the library ones for some reason are now ones that I actually enjoy reading and listening to. So it's turning what should be one of the most boring parts of the entire thing into quite a fantastic little report. Actually, I'm quite enjoying it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 83. We'll table it as read. I believe that Andrew's not available, so shall I instead hand over to you, Miss Winter?
Well, you can, Mr. Chair, but I don't think I'll have anything much to add. Andrew had an appointment today, so I don't know, between Mark and I, we can maybe wing it, but if there are any questions that we don't know the answer to, we'll just talk to Andrew and he can get back to anyone. So, happy to take the report as read and any questions.
Any questions from any of the members? No, the only comment or concern, I guess, is at the bottom of it is working. Government are working towards the introduction of the Draft Climate Adaptation Act in 2023, and we, that's come up at the same time that COP23 is going on, and they're saying that we've got to reduce it with methane. It's going up from 10% to 30%, and it's going to require a lot of cows to disappear to achieve those goals. So it's probably more a question for Andrew. From a council point of view, and the whole climate change or climate adaptation and whatnot, what powers or effectiveness do we even have in that sort of space?
Well, I guess the first thing that we need to do is have our own kind of sort of strategy or position paper around it in terms of what it means for us as a district, and we haven't quite got that far. We do signal in our long-term plan that it's something that we need to be working on in this next kind of 3-year period. So I kind of need to assign a staff member to actually put a bit of grunt around this particular area, and we haven't actually done that yet.
But it is obviously something that's on the radar for the council.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, for example, all our infrastructure projects, I guess, take their cues from our infrastructure strategy and our asset management plans, which have climate change resilience threaded all through them. So, you know, it's more, for us, it's more practical application at the moment. And so, yeah, so there's an obvious link there. But in terms of anything broader than that, we don't really have a climate adaptation strategy for our district or anything like that at this point. Don't know whether Mark or Ross, I think Ross is online as well, whether they want to add anything to that.
I'd probably just add a little bit to the infrastructure stuff, Tanya. I mean, it is something that's becoming a little bit more obvious as we move through into tendering and procuring, is just that element of green, I suppose, is for want of a better word. But I think there's still a lot of technologies that are going to catch up to us yet too, to make us change a lot of those sort of practices. So it's definitely something we're thinking about. Yeah, but early days still for us. Yeah.
Yeah, and just the other one comment from me is that in the that list of resource consents and whatnot, it looks like there's a few new lots and titles and whatnot coming through, which is always good to see a few bit more land getting opened up and hopefully a few more houses built, because as with everywhere in New Zealand, there is a shortage of houses and whatnot, and to build a house you need a piece of land to put it on. So yeah, that's always good. Shows a little bit of, personally, I believe that it shows a bit of enthusiasm and belief in the district and the township as well. So, do we have a mover and a seconder that report be? If there's no further questions or queries, we have a mover and a seconder that report be received. Councillor Christensen, Mr. Coventry. Right, item 84, Civil Defence Emergency Management Report. I'll hand back over to Mrs. Winters.
Yes, same deal as the last one, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to take any questions on that. Just, I guess, a comment around the COVID situation, in that we, through Civil Defence and Emergency Management, we are very much playing a support role to the health response. So the primary or lead agency in the COVID pandemic is the other health authorities, Ministry of Health, and through the DHBs, and then out to organisations that they contract with. Having said that, I've got a number of staff who are in the kind of welfare space or comm space or that sort of thing, that and the likes of Andrew as a controller, and myself, who are kind of plugged in there. So, but just, I think there's been a little bit of misunderstanding that local government kind of have more powers in this situation than we actually have, and in terms of receipt of information, where we are in the pecking order. And I've sent some emails out to elected members about wastewater testing and about a number of positive cases, just saying, sometimes we are actually reading about them in the media or on Facebook pages before we get formal notification. So that's probably all I'd say there.
Thanks for that, Tanya. Any questions or queries from the members?
Just to notify, it seems like in those trained staff statistics, it looks like we're doing pretty well in that. So heads up, a thumbs up to everyone who's doing any work and training there. That's great news I see there. And just the other thing, Carol and I've been down and been tested twice down at the test station down there, just to stay abreast of things, and so we can look after our grandson and so on. And that team down there are just a great bunch of people. So if you see any of them, and you can just say thank you. We've had great laughs, and everyone down there, I think they're doing a fantastic job. So big thumbs up to them. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, Peter, and thanks for noticing the numbers of trained staff. When I arrived at council, there was a bit of concern expressed to me about the kind of depth of our training in civil defence, and it's really good to have so many of us through the foundation training, and then we've got some specialised roles where that next level of training has taken place. So yeah, I really feel like we're in a good position there.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tanya.
You're on mute, Neville.
Do we have a mover and a second of that report be received? Councillor Christensen, Mr. Coventry. Item 85, Animal Controllers Report. Tanya.
Yep, through you, Chair. Yeah, so the stats are there. Yeah, I get made aware of some of the work that our animal control officer is doing out in the district, and usually when I get to hear about it, it's at the unpleasant end. And yeah, he really does do a great job out there under some extremely trying circumstances, not always just with the dogs either. So yeah, it's an interesting role, and one that not everyone would be able to do. But I think in terms of our registrations, we've had really good success in getting registrations and careful follow-up there as well.
Thank you, Tanya. Any questions or queries from the board? No. Okay. We have a mover and a second of that report be received.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown-Merrin. And Mr. Councillor Christensen. Right, with that, we'll move on to board member updates. Start with you there, Pete.
Just a few things I was doing. Not in any form of complaint or anything like that. I was just interested. I see that they've been mowing the stop banks, which is great. And so the stop banks are mowed. And so I was wondering when they were going to be doing the rest, and I see that the tractors are out there, so they've started mowing the flats today. I was just a thought, and just so I can answer when I'm asked elsewhere. Rodney's here. The dog training area, is that going to be mowed? Because otherwise we're going to be losing some dogs in there pretty darn soon. It's the smaller dogs are getting lost already. Just a thought. Is that going to be mowed and harvested?
Which dog training area are you referring to?
Dog training area by the college.
Oh, the old landfill.
The old landfill. Mark, do you know anything? Does anybody know anything?
I'm just trying to remember. I was of the understanding it was not going to be a mowed area, but I don't know that for sure. I just remember that vaguely early on, that it wasn't going to be a groomed.
Yeah, I seem to think that is. I seem to agree with that as well. But heck, it's up to my mid thighs now, and I've just got. Yeah. I'm looking after my son's two little dogs, and I mean I've heard no complaints. It was just a query when I'm walking past, thinking because you can't really get little dogs walking around there at the moment. But it is what it is. That's fine. Just so that I know.
If I could just jump in there for a minute, I believe that area is still under a standing grass lease, so it gets taken off when they're ready, and they pay per bale they take.
Okay.
So it's not under any of our actual mowing contracts as such.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. No, it was just a matter of interest for me. Walking through and seeing. I'm waiting for someone to come and report that their dog got lost there because they can't find it in the long grass. And then just another, and it's more of a question than a report for anything, but just wanted to know. It seems. So putting on another hat, it seems unlikely that we'll be doing an indoor carol service this year with COVID vaccinations and certificates and whatever else. If we were to do an outdoors carol service, say the village green or the rugby pavilion, who would we have to get permission from? Would that be allowed, and who would we need to get permission from? Can anybody answer that?
Yeah, not off the top of my head. Sorry, Peter. The village green, I mean, I'm sure that's something we can give permission to.
Okay.
The rugby club might be slightly different. So yeah, I'm not sure what area you're talking about.
Yeah, Village Green is us through you, Chair. Yeah, Village Green is us. You just have to, I don't know, what's the limits at the moment? 25 or something.
Oh,
This would be Christmas Eve. So, I mean,
Right.
we may do a whole lot of planning and then find that we can't even do it then. So if we get to Christmas Eve and we're allowed 100 people outdoors, and that's really the only viable thing, it would be a community carol service to try and put a bit of cheer back into Christmas.
Yeah.
But it would only be if we get to that place where we're allowed 100 people outdoors. I just don't think we're ever going to get to 100 people indoors before Christmas. So that one's out. No. Rodney, do you know anything about us being able to use the rugby? I just thought it might be nice to set up the singers and the choir and so on, and have people sitting up in the stands. It was just a thought. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but yeah, I'm sure we can ask someone. I don't know whether. Suppose you ask Graham Wilshire about anything to do with it.
Okay, I'll get a hold of Graham. All
So I
good.
don't- yeah.
All good. I'll get a hold of Graham.
Yeah. Cheers.
Okay.
Through you, Chair.
Tanya.
Yeah, through you, Chair. So I've had an approach from a couple of community members, and it's quite interesting their timing, because I went into town the other day for something, and I sort of thought to myself, geez, it'd be really lovely to actually make a bit of more of an effort to do up the main street or something this year for Christmas, to bring some cheer and that sort of thing. And I've been approached by a couple of community members who would actually like to, quite independently from me thinking about it, who would like to actually do some extra things. It may be that you tie in with them, link in with them, Peter, and look
Absolutely, Tanya. If you
look
can
at
just
what they're thinking of doing.
either give them my name or give me their names on email, and I'll follow up with them. That'd be great. Yeah, brilliant.
I just think maybe we kind of put a bit of a package together, and
Yes,
it might be there's a plan A and there's a plan B if we can't kind of all get together, right?
Yeah. Just either give me their names on email or give them my name, and I'll follow up. Thanks, Tanya.
Yeah,
Thank you. Other than that, just one more thing, and I don't know quite how this is going to go. I don't know about you guys. I've certainly been taking a bit of flack on talking about vaccinations and so on. Is there a policy that we should be thinking about as community board members on social media stances on things like vaccinations and testing?
I guess, if you're using your own personal Facebook page or social media, then that's your call, that's your gig, and you just think about that in terms of people associating you with your other role. In terms of putting any kind of anything out formally from council, all we are doing is providing information about where clinics testing stations and clinics are and things like that. I would steer clear of opinions on social media that are our council Facebook pages or social media pages. But in terms of your own, then I guess you make that decision, weighing up all the risks. As a board, you might come to your own position on that, but certainly we haven't put anything around that.
It was certainly on my own, on my personal one, and then on my community board one, because I just had people phoning me and saying the community board was very quiet and not saying anything about vaccinations and so on. So I put up what I thought was a very low-key, gentle, gracious statement on my own personal book. There are a few comments there which are fine. It's the emails and the texts that have come raining in behind the scene that have scared the living daylights out of me. So
yeah. Max has been posting things on his Mayor Max page, and that's fine. On our formal Ōtorohanga District Council page, then we post information about the clinics and
absolutely that. I was just thinking about for our personal ones.
Okay.
All good. Thank you. That's all for me. Thank you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Pete, all of us are individuals. We're all different people, and we're all in different situations. So we're all going to make different decisions based on different situations that we're all in. I think that we just need to all be a little bit more empathetic towards others, no matter which side of the fence you sit on. I'll steal somebody's line and be kind. It may not be getting followed through very, very well at the moment, but I think everybody just needs to show a little bit more empathy and just remember that everybody's in a much different situation to everybody else, and everybody needs to make their own decisions based on their own situation, and we just need to support and understand different people and their personal beliefs either way and on either side of the coin. So, Ms. Christensen.
Not much to report, just nice to see the shops open, although it's very quiet, and I suppose that's because people are scared. But yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Mr. Dowell, welcome to the meeting. Have you got anything to add to the discussion?
No, sorry, I'm a bit late. I wasn't even going to make it, but yeah. I can make it now, which is good. This work's pretty busy, obviously. That's why I'm been a bit slow getting there. So I guess that's one positive thing. COVID's a bit of a bummer for the district, but I mean, it is what it is. I think we're just going to have to live with it. It's not going to go away. So, but like Bovis with the cows, it's just here for good. Anyway, but cows you can shoot, humans you can't. So yeah, just council meetings, regional. I haven't done too much in the community. Can't get out and about too much. Just pretty much stuck at work. Really, can't wait until we can go somewhere and do something. So, that's about it. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Mrs. Brown-Merrin.
Hello, guys. I haven't actually got much to report. I have been receiving messages and emails, just same thing. People are struggling, looking for support. So I have sent quite a few through to the support house for that. Myself, I don't actually leave my house. I do. I go to my mum's house and I go home. That is the extent of my travelling. So I am doing a lot of messaging to other people and just checking in on them. We opened the library down in Waitomo, which was really cool. We're opening that tomorrow, which is something that we're looking forward to. But apart from that, just working from home.
No, thanks, Kat. Alan's not here today, but one thing that I think it was, yes, Katrina.
Sorry, I forgot to ask. Hey, Mark, how's our footpath? Or not our footpath, that NZTA's bridge footpath.
The one on, so that's been fixed. Yeah, and they took the concrete pay there and put another steel plate in there. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Dell. Rodney.
Well, just Mark really. Well, we're talking about bridges. They've tagged someone's tagged the one at the end of State Highway 3. Does that our council doesn't want to look at that? It's State Highway, or
is it on the inside of the railing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you can see it from the road, Like
yeah. Just leave it with me, Peter. Sorry, Rodney. I'll look into it.
Well, I've been because I've been banging on the regional transport committee meetings about getting it painted and getting reinstalling the safety, pool fence it used to have, but they seem to don't want to. They don't want to do anything about it. If you ask Ash Turner, the mayor from over Tiara way, they're trying to get a bridge in their town painted too, and there's been a whole lot of thing about it. So I don't know if you can talk to someone on your end, but yeah.
Someone was there measuring the width of the footpath and stuff today.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe they're going to do something, I don't know. Maybe they're listening. I've heard people have been emailing, sending in work requests and to try and get them something done. Because there's a lot more people living out Ōtorohanga Road now that walk across there, so, for safety's sake. But yeah, so maybe they have. Who knows?
Yeah, So correct me if I'm wrong, Tanya, but even through the lockdown and whatnot, if you see any tagging or that sort of thing, I do believe that the request for service system's still working. I've personally been in touch with the ladies at the council, and yeah, everybody still seems to be answering the phones nice and quick, and all the information that I've requested and whatnot has come back to me very, very quickly. So don't forget that there is a request for service system there. And I do believe that they can still generate the RFS number for you if you wish.
Yep, they can. Yep, I sat in on the Ōtorohanga District Development Board AGM a couple of weeks ago, and Project Kiwiana were looking at their next project being painting that bridge. So I wasn't sure how they were going to manage that, seeing that it was a Wakakotahi bridge, but yeah, I'm just kind of give you that information so that you know that they have an interest in doing it up as well.
And those ladies seem to be able to pull off some pretty impressive stuff at times, so they might get better traction with Wakakotahi than even we can.
Max and I sort of said that. We said that to each other afterwards. We thought, oh well, we've been trying for a couple of years, but hey, maybe Moraine will be able to talk them round. So
if anyone can pull it off, it's probably those ladies. So last meeting during board member updates, I think it was Alan mentioned something about CCTV through town. The media did pick up on that, and they got in touch with me, and then they put me in touch with James Walker, who's the senior sergeant of the police in the town or district area or whatever it is. So yeah, we've created a bit of a contact there. He sent me through some information. So yeah, there's been some connections made, some discussions had, and we are working on a bit of something there. Obviously nothing happens overnight. Good things take time, but yeah, it's been quite good to create that connection and get that discussion underway. So is there anything from anyone else? Right, we'll declare the meeting closed. Justin, so we'll declare the meeting closed, and we are almost ready for our first workshop.